absolute cinema. The Warriors, from the depths of defeat against their nemesis, the team they can never beat. They've lost their last 9 games in that arena, and the GOAT himself does it again.
Let me tell you what. The GOAT himself does it again. And let's just start things off. There is no more GOAT point guard debate. There never was a couple years ago. Let me explain something. Magic Johnson did some incredible things. There are players now that can do the things that Magic Johnson did. Example A, LeBron James. There is not, and there will never be, anyone before, current, or in the future that can do what Steph Curry does. Nobody. The man is not a human being. I don't know where he was made, but he's not a human. He is the greatest point guard ever.
So you're calling that ahead of time, in the future, there's no one going to be like him. It's not even so, because I'm sure back in the 80s when Magic was created, no one thought there would be a Magic. And then obviously players came along because of evolution. So you're saying no matter how long this earth survives, no matter how long we are on this planet, there will never be another Steph Curry, just like there won't be another Batman or Superman or any of these guys.
No.
That's what you're saying.
No. I hear Trae Young was as crazy as it sounds. Trae Young, Damian Lillard.
No, Trae Young was labeled the next Steph because of his size and shooting range.
It's not gonna happen. The guy is 6'3", and he shoots over anyone and anything. He'll fade right, left, behind. He'll do a backflip. He'll still make it. Doesn't even touch the rim.
Look, I would say this, and I've changed my mind on this.
Okay.
Because I used to say that Magic was still the best point guard of all time. Steph was 2, even though I put Steph in the top 10 all time ahead of Kobe. And a lot of people said I was crazy for putting Steph ahead of Kobe, right? So that was my thing last year. After the Olympics, I put Steph ahead of Kobe.
Which is fair.
Which I think he passed him in that. Now, the only argument for Kobe over Steph to me is that Kobe was a great defensive player. Steph has never been that. So if you want to take that as the main thing, to me, that's the only argument you have. And I love Kobe. Rest in peace, Kobe, forever, right? But here's why I'm going to agree with you now. Here's why I've changed my mind. And I put Steph over Magic. Because I do think Steph is so unique as a player. And yes, Magic was unique at the time, but he's not anymore. And Steph is so unique as a player. He's literally a team all by himself. Like, you could put whatever 4 guys next to him that you want.
And let me make a point, too. By the way, a lot of people don't know this. Go back. There's a graphic. Steph Curry was the best defensive point guard in the NBA in the peak of his prime. I remember there was a graphic. It was that Seth Curry's the most efficient offensive and Steph was the best defender. Steph has never, since like 2014, 15, he hasn't been a bad defender.
Yeah, but I have to call cap on that for a second, all right? Because being a bad defender and being a great defender, there's a huge gap.
He's a solid defender, and he is
but that's
the
not
best
great.
offensive engine.
But if we're talking about Kobe Bryant and guys like that, those guys were all defensive players. So that's all I'm saying. Solid is fine, and he's definitely, listen, he doesn't kill you anymore out there. At the beginning of his career, he used to kill you.
Yeah.
They used to pick on him.
Well,
then
he put on a little something. He got in
the weight room. He got in the weight room. He started frame mogging motherfuckers out there, and then he was good. But the reason I would say, like, when you put Steph as like the only player in the league right now, and I don't even put LeBron there anymore because I think LeBron can't do that by himself. Steph is the only player now. You could put whatever 4 guys you want out there, and you always have a chance.
Yeah.
No matter what 4 guys you want to put next to him, you're going to have a chance to win a game.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you play.
And let's talk about 2 of them. Actually, we could talk about Draymond too, but let's talk about 2 guys specifically.
Okay, but last thing on Steph.
Okay.
Because now I'm going to, on this show tonight, I'm officially declaring he's the greatest point guard of all time. Because I didn't think that before. Magic, I always had Magic ahead of him. And I'm going to go even further. Okay?
Say it.
There's a part of me. I'm not ready to do it
Stand
yet.
on it. Don't be soft.
Because I'm
not. You're going to say it. You better say it.
I have to go look. There's a part of me that wants to put him ahead of LeBron.
Okay. Are we done here? Or
I'm going to tell you why. You want me to tell you why?
I don't know if I want to hear this.
2 reasons why. Number 1, he's the only unanimous MVP in the history of the league. That's number 1. Number 2, the difference between him and LeBron, and I do count this ancillary stuff. Like, I don't just count what the stats are on the court. He is a unique player to the game of basketball. He changed the game of basketball. LeBron never changed the game of basketball.
LeBron is the game of basketball. LeBron is the best at everything.
He never changed the game, though. He was a guy who came in. We've seen, he might be the best of his kind, but we've seen guys similar to him. We have never seen, and like you said, never will see again, a player like Steph Curry. That's why I think there's only a few guys in the history of sports that are like that. Michael Jordan's one of them. Tiger Woods is one of them. Steph Curry is one of them.
Listen,
you don't see a lot of guys that literally change the game they're playing.
I understand that, but you don't see any guy, period, that takes the 07 Cavs to the final. You don't see any guy, period, that takes the 2018 Cavs to the final.
Agreed.
And you sure as hell do not see a guy that is, 41 years old, and he's still giving you 30-point triple-double. Look, I understand. Let's leave it at Steph is the greatest point guard.
By the way, we're splitting hairs here because they're both top all-time players. All I'm saying is I'm thinking in my head as we're going that I have to start thinking about putting Steph in that conversation because what he's doing on the floor, he is an offense by himself. Like at this age, to do what he did tonight, he missed 40 games this year, this man. He was injured half the season. He barely played at the end of the season.
Listen, greatest point guard ever. I'm not giving it. LeBron is, to me.
He's just entering. You have to admit, he's entering there.
He is entering. But it just, the fact that his team, when he beat LeBron in the finals those multiple times, was so much better than LeBron's.
I agree.
It's so hard for me to be like, you are better than him. Or even on the same level.
He has two titles like that, and so does LeBron.
Yes.
They both have two of the same title. They really both have 4 titles.
Yeah, it is pretty similar.
They've won them very similarly. So, yes, Steph had a better LeBron is more capable in his prime of dragging an atrocious roster to the finals. That I don't dispute.
Right.
But I think right now you're looking at it, if you take all things into account, last thing, I think Steph has entered that conversation. Okay. Now you can talk about your two geezers.
Let me talk about my two dinosaurs tonight. What the heck was Al Horford sipping on at halftime? What was Porzingis sipping? Bro, Porzingis literally, what does he have, POTS? I don't even, he has some sort of autoimmune disorder that he says, no one even knows what he has. He says that when he plays a few minutes, sometimes he's totally out of breath. He feels like he can't even walk. Bro, did you see him tonight? He had 2 putback dunks. He had 3 threes, maybe 4. The guy looked like the unicorn. He looked like Celtic. He looked like Knicks Porzingis. And then Horford. What was that? Do you think Horford can feel his neck right now? Can feel any of his body below his face right now? Do you think that was an out-of-body experience?
I almost to the point of disbelief at what I watched because the combination of the two, I can handle one of them.
Right.
I can go there and watch. I'm like, all right, one of them he came out of nowhere at a big game.
Right.
Now, here's the big question. Which one to you is more surprising? Because Porzingis, basically, they dug him out of the ground before this game. I don't even know where he was. The guy was basically a dead carcass before this game. And Horford has been injured for basically the whole season. He's 57 years old, and he probably can shoot threes more than he could tie his shoe at this point. That's how old this man is. So what to you, and I'll give you my answer, what to you was more surprising, Porzingis' outburst or Horford's flame-throwing exhibition late here in New York in the fourth quarter?
Listen, Horford did something similar against the Bucks in the playoffs where he had that stretch where he was hitting the threes. He dunked on Giannis. Go back. You people remember. Now, so we've seen it from Horford.
You're saying when he was with Boston?
Was it when he was with Boston? Yes.
Yeah.
We've seen it from Horford, even though we've seen it. With that being said, Horford did something I truly have never seen before from a guy that's not known. He's a good three-point shooter. He's not Steph Curry. If he misses just one of those threes,
they lose the game.
They lose the game. The guy, and he was taking, I think 2 or 3 of them were very contested. It's like, it's got to be Horford. Porzingis didn't even play the last 3 or 4 minutes. Horford was in there in crunch time. He was battling, and he didn't miss. It's Horford. What do you think?
I have to go Porzingis.
Why?
Because I just didn't even know that he was alive. You know what I mean? I knew Horford was on the roster. I knew he was going to show up. He was going to put his uniform on. He was going to head out there, and he might hit a 3 or 2. Right. Porzingis legitimately looked like the Porzingis of 2-3 years ago when the Celtics won the title. Yeah. When he came back in the finals. Right. Like, he was hitting everything tonight. And he looked like if you left him this much space, it was cash. Right. Right? So I couldn't believe what I was watching. This man, he was a big reason they were in the game. Right. Because remember, Steph really didn't turn back into Steph until midway through the third quarter. Yeah. He was the first half, I think he had like 8 points. He was fine, but like Steph really turned into Steph in the third quarter. Porzingis saved them in the first half where they could have been down by 20. Yeah. Right? So I just think when I'm looking at it, basically considering the fact that he might have a serious disease. Right. I don't know, and we have not seen him play. We have not seen him play at this level on either the Hawks or the Warriors. He did have some big games for the Warriors, I will say, this season. He had like 30. I think he had 28 once. I remember. But with that being said, the stakes. It's been a while, though. I see what you're saying. I totally see what you're saying. But listen, I'm not trying to diminish what he did tonight is going to go down in the annals. Like they are going to send him the senior citizen card next week, and they're gonna put an extra special star on it. Right. Because that was something to watch. And by the way, I don't think any of those threes touched the rim. No, it was crazy. That's why I say I don't think he can feel his arms, fingers, nothing. He's not even like I don't think he'll wake up and maybe he'll remember what happened last night. Maybe. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's that crazy. Yeah. Now let's talk about one more thing before I let you go. Yeah. Obviously, that Sixers Magic game was nothing like any of the other three. Before we get to that, let's finish this game. Because what about Draymond? Okay, right? You're right. I think he's worthy of mentioning tonight because I've been hard on Draymond in the past. I think sometimes he is a bully on the court. No disputing his impact. But what he did tonight, he turned back the clock. We also were saying on our last episode, we think the Warriors are going to tank. And we were saying that Draymond's going to be chucking 3. Bro, we were wrong. We were dead wrong. Draymond, matter of fact, probably gave himself a lock as a Hall of Famer to the casuals. Obviously, we know he's a Hall of Famer. If you watch that fourth quarter, the defensive display that he put on, there is a reason why Draymond Green, despite all the antics, despite all the flagrants, all the off-court stuff, it's really mostly on-court. There's a reason why they keep him around. That's why. Yep. That's exactly why. I agree. Yeah. I agree. And sorry, I just thought of something. I think this was a vintage Draymond performance where he because he hasn't had one of those in a while, to really remind people, hey, I used to be a tremendous defensive player, one of the greatest of all time, to be quite honest. And I did have a big impact on those Warriors championships, even though no one wants to give me credit for that. They always want to say it's because of Steph. And tonight he kind of showed everyone one last time that he still had it in the tank when he needed it, right? Yeah. Like that performance in the second half. And it was really in the second half because Kawhi had a pretty good first half. What he did to Kawhi in the second half was legendary. And let's keep this in mind too. For those of you that might not realize, Kawhi Leonard was arguably the best player in the NBA this season. Yeah. Go look at everything. He was there with Jokic, with SGA, with Luka. Yeah. What Draymond did to him in the second half was otherworldly. It was otherworldly. So, props to him. In the fourth quarter, Kawhi Leonard, forget the fact that he only scored 2 points, and those 2 points don't even count. That was at the very end of the game. On the game was over. He basically scored 0 points. He took only 1 shot. He couldn't even get a shot off against this man. He clamped him so bad, he couldn't get a shot off. And then, with the game on the line, he picks his pocket for the extra special chocolate chip cookies he took out of there and then gave the Warriors that clinched the game. So, listen, I just want to give Draymond his flowers. I've been hard on him. I think he could be a bully. But you know what? Tonight, give him your flowers. Yeah. Draymond turned back the clock tonight. Good stuff, Draymond. Okay, so now let's go to the Sixers. Well, let's touch on this real quick in case you guys missed it. The Magic can't shoot. They can't score. They need a new point guard.
one of their forwards, Franz Wagner or Paolo, needs to learn how to shoot. They can't play together. This isn't a Jaylen Brown-Tatum situation where it's like, oh, they can't play together, trade one, but they're both good at everything. No, neither of these guys can shoot. The Magic need massive changes. On the flip side, Tyrese Maxey is an all-NBA player. That's all I have to say.
Okay, to your first point, my one question with the Magic is part of that because Wagner is not Wagner right now?
No.
Wagner to me is their best player, and he's been hurt all year. He looked like a shell of himself at the end of the season.
No, because even when he plays, they can't win playoff series.
That might be true, but now with Bane there, I think Bane does help. I do agree with you on this. I think Wagner and Banchero is kind of too redundant. They need to get rid of one of those guys. They need to move on from one of those guys. You obviously, Bane, you gave up everything that wasn't nailed down, so you can't really get rid of him. Right. So you have Bane, who I think he's a good shooter, so he complements one of those guys well. But I agree with you. You need to get a little more versatility in that lineup. So I think you need an overhaul.
Trade Paolo Banchero.
Agreed.
For Giannis Antetokounmpo this offseason.
It's not terrible.
Assuming and tell Franz Wagner you're going to spend the entire offseason becoming a 40% three-point shooter. That is how you fix this team.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I don't hate it, and I agree with you. I think Banchero is the guy who they could look to move. And by the way, I'll say this. Since your boy over there in Miami wants to trade for a star, right? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah.
With the slick back hair, wants to trade for a star. Maybe Banchero could be headed that way.
No, keep him away. Him and Bam Adebayo would be the worst spacing front court in NBA history.
Let's get him over there in Miami.
No, let's not. Let's not.
Let's get it. Let's get him over
actually never, ever suggest that again, please.
And the last thing on him, and then your Maxey point, part of me felt bad for Banchero tonight.
Why?
Because he's getting so much crap on Twitter and social media. He is just like he got crap after the G League Celtics beat them. Like that was the first part.
Right.
And then tonight he is getting eviscerated because basically they're calling him Prime Ben. They're calling him Ben Simmons now.
I heard them calling him PB No J.
Yeah, PB No J. Yeah, I saw that. So they are killing it, and I feel bad because he seems like a nice kid.
No, yeah.
I feel bad when even though it's warranted, I feel bad about going. That's why I didn't really want to go after him in my video. I kind of went after the Magic altogether when I put my video out because I don't like going after players who I don't think deserve the hate. Right. And he's a young player still. He's still going to turn it around. So that's the last thing on him. Into your Maxey point. I've been saying this now for a while. I think Maxey's the most underrated player in the NBA. And you think that's probably crazy because he's rated like someone who's good. It's not like people don't realize he's good. But I don't think they realize how good this man is. This man, to me, is, like you said, an all-NBA player, which means what? He's a superstar.
Top 15, superstar. He's
a superstar. I think he's a superstar. I think he's going to be a guy that if Paul George was healthy the whole year, and we're talking about Embiid forget Embiid, Edgecombe being maybe in his second or third year, this team could be a top 4 seed.
Oh yeah.
With him as the number one, as the lead.
Tyrese Maxey can be to your offense what SGA is to Oklahoma City's offense.
He's just a little smaller. That's the issue with that. But
he's not that small. I'm pretty sure he's like 6'3" or 6'4".
At very worst, though, he could be Jalen Brunson.
He's much bigger than him, though. Am I tripping?
But I'm saying at the very worst, why can't he be Jalen Brunson to your offense, right?
Right,
at the very worst. Forget the size. I'm just saying he's a little bit. He's
6'2". You're right.
He's 6'2". He's a small guard. Like that's the one thing, which is why defensively he struggles a little bit. But in terms of his offense, he is an electric factory, number one.
And his stamina is unreal.
It's unreal.
He just doesn't stop.
He's gonna be. Years to come, he's going to be a household name before time. The Sixers need a playoff run.
That's what they need.
He needs an Anthony Edwards-like playoff run.
Is it crazy to say that he's in the same tier as Tyrese Halliburton?
No.
He just hasn't had that run yet.
I think he's actually better than Tyrese Halliburton, personally. They're different players.
Is this a salty Knicks fan talking or no?
No, I think Halliburton's a tremendous player, and he's a really good point guard. But Maxey, like Halliburton, I think you need a guy – you need someone on that team to be their number one scorer. He's not a number one scoring option.
True.
So if you're not a number one scoring option, that doesn't mean you're not a great player. I can't put you above a guy who I think is, you could put Maxey to start your team, and you don't need a number one scoring option. Halliburton, you would still need a number one scoring option, although he's great. So I think Maxey right now, I'm going to put him in this tier. I think he's in the Donovan Mitchell tier.
Oh, 100. I love it. Yeah, I agree.
I think you're talking about Brunson, Mitchell, Maxey. Those guys are in the same area of
They're
top.
all, yeah. I like it.
So let's, before we go here at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, fellas, we're out here doing this at 2:30 in the we're
But we don't care because this is what we do.
That's what we do. We're doing this the right way.
Everyone else is sleeping, and we're up here.
Yes,
so
sir.
we're going to give our top 10 current players in the NBA. Now that Maxey, I think, has moved in there to the top 10.
Top 10
I want to give my top 10 current players in the NBA. You don't have to give exactly.
I feel like we got to do this next episode. Let me think on this a little bit.
You want to think on it? You want to wait?
Let's do this next episode.
Let's leave this a cliffhanger. As we leave the audience, are you putting Maxey in your top 10?
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay. So you think he's 10 to 15?
I'm going to give you my top 15. I'm going to list them quick next episode because he is in my top 15.
He's in. So you want to give your top 15? Because
I'm going to give my top 15.
I got to think about it too because he could be at the back end of my top 10, but I don't want to miss anyone.
Okay.
So we'll leave
and this is assuming everyone's healthy.
Assuming everyone's healthy.
Okay.
Right now, not like LeBron in his prime.
Okay.
LeBron now, Steph now, all the KD now, everyone else.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, we'll end on that note.
All right, great. Good episode. What a game. The play-in has been a win so far.
It's been unreal.
People wanted the play-in gone. It's back in play now.
It's never leaving after this year.
It's back in. No, it's not. The worst game was the Sixers game, and even that was a game with a minute left.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a blowout. These games have just been tremendous. I can't wait. I hope this is a sign of things to come because we got absolutely hoodwinked in the regular season. We need it.
Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.